Hello, YouTube. Just heard a dog barking. Guess I was going to talk about uh, everyone's favorite subject, abortion. And why I support it. Basically, there's just too much suffering to bear. And I think too much emphasis is put on the choice of the child, the future child. People act like there is a sentient, conscious being in there. The moment of the fertilization, which of course is wrong, uh, they act like there is a brain with, the central nervous system, the pain receiving electrical signals, the nociceptors, which I believe doesn't really come about until the 23rd week of pregnancy, or something like that. And 99% of abortions are in the first trimester, conveniently neglecting that fact when all the signs show, like a pro-life sign, it shows like a baby. It's like a 2-month or 3-month baby. This is after the birthing process has already taken place. And they act like that's what you're killing when you have an abortion. I don't know how people are this stupid, but they just believe anything people say. But then I don't know why people are so religious. Believe that souls come into the body and then go out of the body, and that it can work and there's a non-physical, non-material spirit somehow involved in the brain information processing and control over motor and sensory functions. Somehow there's any room left for the soul thing once we thoroughly dissect the neurology that goes on behind the scenes of us. I guess another argument would be what kind of life is this kid coming into exactly? Okay, so you're gonna force the mother to continue the pregnancy, you're going to force her to have the kid. Now she's a full-time parent taking care of the kid. A lot of these people are low income. Maybe they're barely eating. Well, that's true. And now they have a kid, which is an extra mouth to feed. Uh, it's going to take 3, 4 years until it can finally walk, and it's still not independent. I mean, basically, and what about the suffering of the child? And this is the antinatalist perspective. You also say the kid wants to live, the baby wants to live. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe a lifetime of suffering, poverty, mental duress, illness, depression, panic disorders, abuse, neglect. Maybe they don't want all that if they could see beforehand a preview of their life story written out. Maybe they wouldn't say, "Yay, life!" Maybe if they look into the future of a life in a drought, famine, hardly scarce water in India or Bangladesh, maybe they wouldn't choose that life. In many parts of the US, I would say third worldish at this point too. Of course, it's not their choice. It's the parent who makes the unilateral decision to forcibly create the new person and gamble with the potential risk. Things could go very wrong and not just minor problems, major problems. Hmm. And then these pro-lifers say, "What if you were aborted? Well, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be experiencing reality. So, what's the deal?" It's really that simple. But they think not being is somehow a bad. They think it's, even though there's non existence all around, there's non existence on Mars. Every time a person ejaculates or a woman has a period, there is the potential for life, and now it will never be. So, it's not a deprivation, it's not a loss. Best you could just call it neutral. But it has no quality, no essence. Uh, but it does have freedom from suffering, which is a good. Not giving birth or having abortion does prevent a future lifetime of suffering, does prevent a death down the line because we all die and we die painfully and slowly. Which is worse, dying painfully and slowly with arthritis, multiple sclerosis, scoliosis, and heart disease, and take all that, or you terminate the fetus that is the size of a shrimp? What's worse? If a child is burning to death, and there are a bunch of fertilized eggs and fetuses over here, who do you save? If they truly have value as a person, as a life, then there are much more of them, so you'd save them and let the one burning child burn. I don't think most people would make that decision. I think there's some kind of, I don't think they truly see it then as fetus has the same value and welfare state as the child. They aren't equivalent in value and moral consideration for various reasons. And then he's gonna force the woman to be pregnant, force her to go nausea, pain, go through childbirth and labor, potentially die from that. Pay the medical bill of 5,000, probably more than that, to deliver the baby. No, I don't want to force a woman to go through that. Fuck that. Fuck this life. That's the kind of theocratic handmaid's tale sort of view of women. Meanwhile, the men can just go and impregnate, impregnate, theoretically 365 women, one each day they can impregnate and create. And who's more responsible for this uh, impregnation? Who initiates the sex more? I would say with the males. And who can just walk off and abandon them?